back to Star News as we join you now with a bit of a breaking news update on a story we've been following for some time now. Our own Dick Jansen joins us on the set as well. And Dick, I know that you have been covering this now for the last hour or so, I suppose, where a Walmart shoplifter was apprehended. What can you tell us?
Well, I got to tell you, this was a definite tough catch, so to speak, for law enforcement tonight. Of course, this call coming in maybe an hour or so ago, it's believed that this gentleman fled on foot to the Dick and Willie Trail right there behind the El Parral and Roses area. Now, after a brief search in that area, law enforcement was able to take the subject into custody. And after that point, as you can see here on the video, they have to take him back to the Walmart, so Walmart can positively identify this gentleman as the person that they were searching for. Of course, you can see there as many as 4 policemen, 4 units there at the Walmart. I think it is interesting to point out that there was roughly, at one point in time, I counted as many as 7 law enforcement ranging from city, county, and state patrol. They're searching for him in that little section of the walking trail. And I got to tell you, that was a very tense time searching through the woods for that individual, as you just don't know where they went, if they're still on the run, if they're still lying down and hiding somewhere. So definite tough find, and good job to the sheriffs. They did get the gentleman. This was a subject that a lot of folks heard over the scanner as possible dreadlocks. The short description, this subject definitely fit the description that went out. As they found him there. No injuries incurred on law enforcement side or the suspect side. Things went fairly smoothly as soon as they were able to take him into custody. So as we're seeing the suspect here, we do not have a name yet at this point in time. At least I don't have a name yet at this point in time. And as you can see here, he really wasn't shy of the camera. Usually when we put those Star News cameras on, someone who's not in the bestest of light, generally try to, hide their face, obscure themselves in some way, and this gentleman didn't attempt to do any of that at all. Here you can see law enforcement removing the subject from the vehicle to take him into Walmart premises for that positive identification, as you can see him there. Of course,
now, this chase going on for some time, Dick, and covering a fairly good stretch of territory here. The individual making it out of the parking lot and down some distance on the Dick and Willie Trail. A little bit rough terrain there in some portions of this.
Yeah, I got to agree with you on that, Scott. And, it was just very, very interesting to see such a high amount of law enforcement, searching for this individual as he was on foot, attempting to escape. And all this over simple shoplifting charges. I almost begin to think that there's definitely going to be some sort of other charges added into that shoplifting charge. It's a definite possibility anytime you attempt to elude law enforcement.
All right, we appreciate that update from you, Dick, and the hard work out there bringing us this story today. I know this chase went on for some time. This individual was successfully apprehended, though, safely brought into custody, and will face charges pending a positive identification by authorities. Also, good teamwork, it looks like, there on the part of the state police as well as Martinsville City Police and Henry County Sheriff's deputies, all working together to bring this individual in. Our next story is also a bit of a breaking news story that we've been bringing you here, News First on Star News, of a possible fight in the city of Martinsville, Vine Street and Ainsley. What can you tell us about this, Charles?
Well, I can tell you that we did put it up on Facebook when we first initially reported it. Some of the neighbors there are not happy that we're even covering this story. But when we did arrive there at Vine Street, we were able to see 2 policemen. The calls came in as an initial fight. Now, we don't know if the fight was in front of the house that you're seeing here, but when we did arrive there on the scene, police were knocking on the doors of this particular house that you're seeing right there. We were told by the neighbors there that elderly people live in this house, and so forth, but the police did a proper investigation. They went around the house, they went around the street talking to neighbors and so forth, and they could not find any sign of a fight that occurred there on Vine Street. So they just cleared the books and left the scene. But this is just a follow-up on a story we've been covering on Facebook today, Scott.
Now, when you say fight, I mean, is this like a domestic instance, or do we know?
We don't know. We don't know. But anytime we call out a scene and then initially put it on the air, whether we find a story or not, we do like to follow up with our audience to let them know what's happening. But right now, the police know of no fight that occurred there at Vine Street. It may even have been a false report.
But of course, there could be charges stemming from that as well. Filing a false police report is a serious offense. So we'll see what we can find out here. Hopefully we'll have some updates on that for you. Next story we're going to go to is one that interests those here in the area, as a former sheriff in Franklin County has now been charged with misconduct. This release just out today, as former Franklin County Sheriff Ewell Hunt has been charged with misconduct by an elected official. Hunt is pictured here. The charge stems from the day that Jennifer Agee was shot and killed in Franklin County, allegedly at the hands of one of Hunt's deputies. This happened in May of last year, that's 2011, after Hunt allegedly failed to notify the proper authorities that Jonathan Agee threatened to kill his ex-wife. Special Prosecutor Mike Duche then investigated Hunt's actions on that day, looking into whether he did enough to prevent her death. Hunt was served a summons on Tuesday, and a hearing for this charge is set for July 11th of this year. So we'll be bringing you further updates on this case as it develops. Stay with us. We'll take a brief break. Be back with more here on Star News in just a moment.
Doing a pre-need ahead of